Hey, welcome back to another episode of Mental Override. I'm Adam, and I'm here to coach you on overcoming fear and living intentionally. Now, today's topic is about environment. Have you thought about your environment? Where you are situated, what you are surrounded with, who you're surrounded with? So today I give the example of a fish in a forest. I think for many of us, we might be in the wrong environment. We might have the wrong surroundings. You see, if you are a fish trapped in a forest, you're still gonna be able to do something maybe. The analogy is that you're gonna be struggling. You're gonna be trying to accomplish and be the best fish that you can be. But unfortunately, you're in the wrong environment. See, a fish in water naturally accelerates. It's easy for him to swim. It's easy for the fish to be the best fish it could possibly be. But if you're a fish in a forest, things are going to be real difficult for you. So number one, stop and think. What influence does my physical environment have over me? For example, how many of you took holidays this summer? You went on a vacation. You went to this environment, you went somewhere where you know you'd feel at peace because the environment created an internal condition for your body physically, for your mind, for your emotions. That environment, the environment itself, created new conditions for you mentally, for your mind, for your state of being. It can allow you to envision new things. It can allow you to experience pleasure. It can allow you to have opportunities to connect, like around the campfire per se. So the physical environment. Now, I've been thinking about this a lot myself this last year, how important environment is. So I started changing my physical environment. And I did this based on my values. My values are CAPS. I got four things, CAPS. So it's community, authenticity, peace, and stewardship. And so community was a big one for me. And if you watch my self-care short, I have a picture of my pergola in the backyard and a giant table. I built a giant table that seats 12 people. And that environment allows me to have community dinners because community is one of my core values. And so generally once every 6 weeks or so, I will cook a brisket and have a bunch of people over for dinner because it supports my values and creates an environment where I'm surrounded by people who influence me and inspire my character as I inspire theirs. So that's one way. Another way I've changed my environment is my living room. 10 years ago when my kids are born, as I started to adopt minimalism, I got rid of my television. I had a television in my living room. It's now hanging in my garage for whenever I need to fix my truck and watch a YouTube video. It's quite useful out there. And that all of a sudden was a set of couches on the rug. And I remember sitting with my wife and we started having discussions together instead of watching the television. The environment changed the results I had in my life. It inspired new actions. It inspired change. It inspired a new vibration and a new way of being. Another thing I did in this last year, about a year and a half ago, is I took down all the art in my home. I know things can be inspiring. You can have live, laugh, love up on your wall, and there can be some deep meaning to that. I don't think that there isn't. But what I started to do is I started to take family photos. These family photos were of all the things that we love doing together, the things that we wanted to experience in our life. So I've got pictures of us mountain biking, being at the lake, at the river, doing things together as a family because where focus goes, energy flows. And where energy flows, energy grows. So one of the things about your environment is what do you have your eyes focused on? What are you seeing every day? Do you have pictures of other people's success on your wall? Is that inspiring for you? Do you have pictures of your own success on the wall? Do you have pictures of the things that you want to have intentionally in your life? One of the considerations I would say is a lot of people talk about a vision board. Putting up something on your wall that inspires you. I've got a marker board in my office, and that marker board has a list of all the quotes that I've learned throughout my life, or at least we'll say the last 12 to 15 years. And those things are things that I've adopted into my life that have become permanent sayings, permanent things to inspire me. And I'll stop and I'll read that board once in a while and remind myself of the values and the accomplishments and the inspiration and the knowledge and wisdom that has come to change my life permanently. So that's the physical environment. We have, maybe you're somewhere that's just not healthy. Maybe you need to live in a different city. Maybe you need to move to a different part of town because the environment is negative and influencing you negatively. What about people? What about your physical environment with people? Is your workplace toxic? Do you need to get out of your workplace? Do you need to have a new place to be inspired? Being around people who are complainers and negative energy vampires, as I call them, that can just be draining you all the time, and you need to remove yourself from that environment. So take some time to stop and think. Am I in a place that is inspiring? Am I in a place with people that is uplifting? Do I need to leave this place? And am I afraid? Imagine what it would be like if you are where you want to be. So many of us take vacations and we are trying to get away from where we currently are to have something we don't have. What if you could build an environment that you don't need a vacation from? What if your own home can be your sanctuary? What if your living room becomes a place of healing? The next step we took in our living room was we actually removed the couch. We have a giant rug. It's full of, we got a stand with all our journals. And then we've got different therapy devices, my Theragun, my foam rollers, my nobblers, some rocks that we like, a place for meditation, a place for prayer, a place for stretching. So that environment continually inspires us towards our intentions. And so the last environment I want to talk about is the environment of your mind. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. But you can also create an environment for the mind by cultivating new thoughts and putting thoughts in your mind. What do you speak every day? Do you give yourself morning affirmations? Do you say, I feel great, I feel successful, I feel that I am loving people around me, I have gratitude for the opportunities today, I will carry myself with energy and inspire others. So you can program your subconscious mind with words of affirmation. Doing this will change your vibration. It will change your internal environment. Forgiveness is a good one. If you're carrying hate or anger towards someone, it's like drinking poison and expecting them to die. Forgiveness is huge. So what's your internal environment? How are you shaping your surroundings? Is your internal environment the fish in a forest? Is it hate in a garden of love? Is it completely incompatible with the outcomes that you want to have? So take some time, think about your environment. I know it's taken me a long time, and these changes have been slow. For example, a lot of the work in the backyard I did with my pergola, my garden. I have a grapevine that's growing up the pergola. It takes years to create that beauty. These are sometimes slow changes, and they can be costly big changes that take some reflection and some intention. So don't be afraid to take some time to envision the environment that you want and ask yourself, if something would have changed, what could I have new? For example, one of the best ones I did is I had a couch in my garage. And that couch was great for kind of sitting and visiting with some people, but I found I was wasting time in there. I was in there just sitting around and not being productive. And so I removed that item from my life. And in the act of minimalism, how can we have more with less? It was the act of getting rid of that thing out of my environment and not just adding something to my environment. So the key point is that it was a change in environment that inspired new actions, that inspired new habits, that inspired new routines. When we do these things, we create discipline in our lives. And as we enact discipline, that gives us motivation. That motivation to have what we intend to have carries a lot of weight, and that helps us overcome fear. So choosing your environment is an act of overcoming fear. It creates discipline to have intention with what you want. That creates momentum. That creates a daily routine of being intentional. And that daily routine of being intentional creates discipline and the capacity to overcome fear and have the things that we want. So if you have time, write down below, what did you need to change about your environment, and what did that create for you, or what did it remove from you? What bad thing, negative thing did it take away when you changed your environment? Comment below, like, subscribe, and if you comment down below, I'd be glad to respond to you or enter into a conversation. Have an awesome day.